Hello everyone, good evening. To begin with, we will talk about the successful women of India. Sudha Murthy, Mallika Srinivasan, Chairperson and MD Tractors and Farm Equipments, Soumya Swaminathan, WHO, Kiran Mazumdar, Show Biocon, Suchitra Bharat, Biotech International, Arundhati Bhattacharya, Chairperson and CEO Salesperson India, Vibha Patkar, MD and CEO HDFC Life. The list actually goes on. Also to talk about the government of India, the way they have changed a lot of things. So government of India has mandated 33% of representation in the local self-government bodies for empowerment of women. And the same is brought in Lok Sabha, but it will take some time. So happy Women's Day to all, because yet after years of conscious and consistent efforts from the practice of sati to women empowerment in modern times, we have traveled a long way. Applauds for India on achieving this success towards equity and equal rights in urban India, although we have a long way to go to achieve the same success in the rural areas. So happy Women's Day to all women, and a heartfelt thank to all the men for making this possible today. So thanks to both of you also. The PGGS Alumni Association is very happy to bring to you the episode 2 of the talk show Healthy Skin and Vigilant Mind. A government survey, so coming to the topics, a government survey says that more than 370,000 cases of crimes against women have been reported in 2020. A total of 371,503 cases of crime against women have been registered across country last year. A rise of 30% in crimes against women in 2021 as compared to 2020. The latest icing in crimes against women is cyber crimes. The biggest culprit, online shopping. To shed some light on this, we have with us Advocate Ishwar Nankani. Ishwar Nankani, an alumni of our PG Garodia English High School, a 1983 batch. He has also been a president of Alumni Association from 2019 to 2020. He is from a family of lawyers and has been practicing for more than 3 decades. He has a firm, Nankani Associates, handling different aspects of civil and criminal law. Ishwar has been instrumental in the implementation of curbs on noise pollution. His professional association with NGO Awaaz Foundation of Sumaira Abdul Lali since 15 years has also been instrumental in curbing illegal sand mining. He is a trustee of Dr. B.K. Goel Heart Foundation. He is also a trustee of K.J. Khilani Trust, which runs educational institutions at Mahim and Sadhu Vaswani High School at Chembur. They have been imparting education to nearly 5,000 students up to junior college level. He is also co-opted as a member of professional committee of the Institute of Actuary of India, which is a statutory body established under the Act of Parliament to govern the functioning of actuaries. So coming to the topic, Ishwar, the principal problem right now lying is that women are actually unaware of the domestic rights that they have and the workplace rights that they have when it comes to law.
Well, to start with, welcome all you lovely ladies. My first thing is my hope, my prayer and my wish is that what we will discuss in the first part of this law, none of you are even the second part of it except for my colleague here. None of you encounter this issue in your life, but yes, you should be aware of these things which are your rights and the laws which are prevailing in our country. May not be for yourself, and I again say that I hope and pray and wish that you don't encounter the situation, but someday, somewhere, someone who's not as lucky as you are may knock on your doors for help, and you should be aware, and any knowledge is always good knowledge, and that's very important, and that's what we want to talk on as to what are the rights of women, at least what are the laws which have been now brought in by the government very recently. And when I say very recently, I'm talking of the present century, because we on one hand have laws which relate back to the 19th century, late 19th century, early 20th century. We are in 21st century. So there are two laws which have been brought about specifically for women till now, and even now and in the past, there is a general code called Indian Penal Code, which covers the general, crime and offences. In which initially there was an amendment which was brought in, and which brought in a section which a lot of people must have heard and read in the newspapers is 498A,
Yeah.
which is with regard to harassment of women, dowry demands. It's typically called a dowry case. Which an offence under IPC 498A, a dowry case with the police, always or almost always led to a skirmish, police coming into the house and police, taking action, and that breaking the relations beyond repairs most of the time. There have been exceptions where these cases have happened and people have again reunited. But at the same time, police, naturally as a socially, we don't like that police has come to my house and this and that and action. So then the relations go so bitter and so sour that they are beyond reconciliation.
True.
So initially in about 2005, a law was enacted for protecting women from domestic violence. And it not particularly was for women who are married in the household, but even a live-in relationship.
Okay.
The law actually started recognizing live-in relationship. So, and you must have heard of a very recent celebrity case where the celebrity was held liable for it,
Yes.
though I was part of it in some manner or the other. But so domestic violence is for anybody and everybody but women in the household. All that you need is a domestic relationship.
Okay.
A domestic relationship, as the law says, is where you are staying with the person, your shared household, shared bank account, and all that. So that definition, it's quite wide and brings in all women who are aggrieved by any action by any family member in the house.
Okay.
And this is, though I must clarify, though this is referred and tried by a magistrate court, which is primarily a criminal court, and therefore people misunderstand it as a criminal proceeding. It is actually not so.
Okay.
It is not a criminal proceeding as such. It's a civil proceeding, kind of a civil proceeding where there are measures which the court adopts to protect the woman from day-to-day domestic violence.
All right.
There could be protection granted for household, so the lady need not be thrown out of the house. How to maintain the lady, monies have to be provided, house has to be provided, no mental harassment should take place. All these curbs are there where the court has got powers under various sections to actually pass orders, say, while you are living in the house. It's different from divorce proceeding.
Okay.
Divorce is where the couple wants to separate out or one of them wants to separate out. So this is while you are living together in that shared household, what the conduct has to be and how a person has to be maintained, how a day-to-day living, whether it's with children, without children. So Domestic Violence Act is one of the very good acts, of course. People have taken some time to understand it, implement it, but I think it's a good thing to resort to in case there is a violation of any of your rights. And it is not a criminal offense. It's not a criminal proceeding. That's a separate thing altogether.
Okay.
Later, in about coming to the workplace part of it, there's
even
also.
I would like you to add about the sexual harassment happening to the women in the domestic.
In the domestic violence, yes. So that's again covered in the general law also.
Okay.
That general law also is there where you have a physical violation or a sexual violation. That's also covered in the general law. Domestic, it amounts to domestic violence. I'm not saying it doesn't, but therefore the courts would generally pass an order restraining A from harassing B in a particular manner or providing support to the lady in a particular manner.
All right. Yeah. Now moving to
Similarly,
the
in about
workplace.
2013, 2013, the government came out. There's a legislation which came out, which is for protecting women from sexual harassment at workplaces.
Okay.
Where any organization which has got 10 or more employees is supposed to have a committee, internal complaints committee, where the lady who's harassed can actually file a complaint, and a whole inquiry which is required to be conducted is to be conducted like a court conducts an inquiry to find out whether there's a truth in it or falsity. If there's a falsity, they just close the case. If there's and of course there are consequences for filing a false complaint. But at the same time, if it is a true complaint, then what kind of a penalty can be imposed upon the employee who has actually done it? And mind you, for this, so far as workplace is concerned, you need not be an employee of the company.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So even if you're a visitor or somebody temporarily placed in an organization, and somebody actually makes sexual advances to you,
Okay.
makes some kind of seeks sexual favors from you,
All right.
makes any colorable comments on you, or undesirable physical touch, all these come under sexual harassment,
Okay.
for which a complaint can file. And of course, there's a lot of anonymity in this. Everything is not opened out. It's supposed to be confidential. So one need not worry about that aspect of it also.
Okay.
So these are basically the two laws which, this second law which I mentioned about sexual harassment, where I said it's a workplace. So it also covers any such offense committed in the households. Let's say a maid is working in somebody's house and
Okay.
she is facing it. It need not be an office place. It can
So
be
even
somebody
she can
working.
complain in the
Even
company?
she can complain for that.
Wow.
So it covers a vast, and I mean, these provisions, the definitions are quite
So
wide.
it is close to the Me Too thing?
Yes, you can say so.
Yeah?
Yes, Me Too is
Okay.
something which people can relate
Relate to, yes.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much. That was really very good to know. Now talking about the second issue, articles in newspapers and experiences of friends and families inform us about the social engineering attack, often used to steal your user data, including login credentials, credit card numbers. And during the course of our discussion also, Ishwar, you had spoken about people masquerading as trusted entity duping a victim while buying things online. Could you please shed some light on how do we protect ourselves from such cyber shams actually?
The topic of today's discussion includes vigilant mind.
Yes.
I think vigilance is something which is very one. If you're calm, if you think calmly, you are vigilant. Okay, and in that one needs to always remember one aspect: nothing is free in life.
Right.
The moment you see something coming free or cheap, I think your antenna should be up. You
Okay.
should be vigilant. Why me? Why to me somebody is offering something free? Why to me somebody is giving me a special offer? Or why something is coming cheap? Now, we know how the economics works. I mean, so sometimes people do. I mean, somebody may be lucky amongst a group of 10 to get something cheap or something free. But that induces another 9 people to get into it. And the moment other 9 get into it, I think all 9 are not lucky to
Right.
get that. And many of them get duped by these kind of schemes. So one has to be vigilant about who is offering, how they are offering, what details they are seeking from us while offering that. Because there's a lot of data collection also which happens, and that data collection need not always be for good cause.
Okay.
So this data could be collected for even for other purposes, for hacking your computers, hacking your apps and software programs and everything. So therefore one has to be vigilant to be knowing who's offering and why. The moment you forget that,
Yeah.
you are into it.
So could you put some more light on data collection part? Yeah.
So this data collection, you get a call, okay, then somebody just asks you to confirm your date of birth.
Right.
One thing is sure, he knows your number, he probably knows your name also.
Yes.
Or he starts addressing sir, madam. But he's now collected one data from you, that's your date of birth. Next person, maybe it doesn't have to happen in a compact 2 or 3 days or at the same call.
Right.
So you feel, oh, he just took my date of birth, fine. You never know in some time to come, because they have their own patience. Some time to come, you'll get another call who may verify your address.
Okay.
A third person may verify some other detail of yours.
All right.
And they have these indirect questions where you say yes or no, and then they go on gathering your information, and it takes them a couple of months. And all this time, if you're not vigilant, you go on giving data one by one, and they go on collecting data. A very simple thing of your own airline boarding card.
Right.
We have been time and again told that the moment you come out of the airport, please
Tear
tear
it.
your boarding card, because it has got data more than what is required. It may have your credit card details, it has your name, it has your address,
Okay, the
and email
barcode
ID.
you mean.
Yeah, the boarding card itself, because it's got a barcode which
Yeah,
can be,
yeah,
today
barcode,
barcodes can be
yes.
read. a simple courier coming to your house.
Right.
Somebody sending you some things by VFast. So your mobile, your name, your address is there with the person.
Absolutely.
He knows where you're residing. He knows exactly. So it's not always about cyber crime. It could be even a physical crime. The couriers that you order from Amazon, they have this barcodes which can be decoded,
Right.
which has got sometimes may have your credit card details.
Yeah.
So this is the way they collect this data, and then they find the target, who they see who's more frequent at it and how to target. And unfortunately, because of the last 2 years of lockdown, I'm sure a lot of ladies enjoyed going shopping earlier, but in these 2 years,
No, it's all click
they
on the
enjoyed
phone.
shopping, continue to enjoy shopping, but sitting at home.
Home, yeah.
And while sitting at home, you from everything, all homemakers had to do everything for the house sitting at home, whether it's groceries, day-to-day stuff, whatever is
Right.
required. So in that, so many times you would share your credit card details, so many times you'll get a call and you'll ask you what is the OTP. So these things are something which one has to be vigilant about, and therefore this crime in the last 2 years has increased as against women.
Yes, yes.
A lot of women have become victims of this. Because traditionally, prior to this, they were not so much into it, but now
Right.
they've been pushed into it in the situation, and now that habit is going to continue. As
Right.
the habit is going to continue, economy has gone down all over. People, so on one hand, your usage has increased. On the other hand, people's incomes have gone down.
Right.
Who want to now, many people do transform to crime, and that's why these incidents are bound to increase. All the more reason one has to be more vigilant. Don't share your date of birth.
Okay.
All banks, you'll find the banks telling you that we don't ask for date of birth, we don't
Yes.
ask for your password, we don't ask for your details on the phone at all. Even on the emails, you will find you may get an email, and this has actually started happening with businesses, and now in personal life also we find it, that you get an email which reads my name, but actually the email ID is of somebody else.
Yes, yes.
Why? Because their email ID has leaked somewhere.
Okay.
So you get an email which may say that I am a friend. Now that's become, of course, an
Right.
old, and that I am a friend, I am marooned in some part of the
Yeah,
world,
yeah, I
send me
need
this
money.
money. Or there are offers which come, they used to come like, your relative has expired,
Yeah.
I can transfer so many pounds
Yes.
to you, but you need to pay this. So one has to be careful about these. As I said, nothing comes for free.
Free.
Any unsolicited call seeking personal data more than what is required,
Okay.
one has to be really vigilant. One should be absolutely alert and not share any such data. Even bank statements, I mean, take an example of a bank statement. If you are getting a physical copy of a bank statement, how many times have you verified that you got your bank statement in January, February, March, didn't get it in April, and got it in May, but where did the
actually
April
don't.
statement go? You don't bother. It comes, it goes, and because it goes into the file, and April you have not realized. For all you know, somebody has taken it away, and all your data is there, your bank account details are there, your address is there, your mobile number may be there,
Account number, bank
bank account number may be there,
Absolutely.
your transactions are there, he knows what kind of money you maintain in the account.
Right.
So these kind of things one has to be vigilant about. Try and avoid those aspects. Or if you're calling for a statement, be very clear it has not come, why it is not clear. And keep changing your passwords.
Okay.
Passwords, try and keep as many different passwords as possible.
For everything.
Yeah, as I just learned that there are softwares which actually generate software passwords for you. Every password, but nevertheless you need to have your second password.
Okay.
You must keep changing them, have different passwords for different things, and don't, as a joke goes, that how a wife purposely put in the computer the password in the house computer was her wedding anniversary or her birthday,
Yes.
so that the husband every day remembers
Remembers.
it's a birthday. So please don't make that mistake.
So common
Don't-
passwords to not to
And
use.
don't even make them as your birth dates or your wedding anniversaries, though they are easy to remember, but
So
unfortunately
difficult passwords to be kept.
have to be difficult passwords.
Okay. And you also had mentioned when we had discussed earlier about Aadhaar card being very safeguarded about printing, getting the Xerox copy
Yes,
of...
yes. So one aspect which I would like to add for the earlier part is even when you go to a hotel and check in, you give your Aadhaar card or your
Yes.
PAN card. So that itself, your driving license itself has got so many details. So many times you give a credit card and they actually photocopy your credit card and keep. You should try and see to it that it happens in your presence, because even if you give a credit card for photocopying and he has to just turn it back or just note down the CVV number, he has got all your details.
Absolutely.
And then they may know how to change the mobile numbers. But this recently it has come to light that how the photocopy centers are collecting this data and giving it and selling it.
Is it?
So if your person is going regularly to a photocopy guy with your passport, with your Aadhaar card, with your credit card for KYC purposes, your
Right.
PAN card for KYC
Yeah.
purposes, he is actually paying and asking for one photocopy. But there are certain guys who are not trusted and he actually takes two photocopies.
Oh, wow.
And you don't even realize, he just keeps
Yeah,
one
yeah.
photocopy
How
with
are we
himself
going to come to know?
and he takes the money from your person who's not vigilant, gives him one photocopy, takes his 1 rupee and your man
Yeah.
is back happy.
Right.
But this man has during the day collected such 80, 100, 200 pages of different people. And if you're going to the same person the next time, then he's slowly accumulating your data. This is, one
My
has to be
God, this
vigilant
is
while even
really,
photocopying.
This is actually very alarming.
This is dangerous and therefore, at least in workplaces, at least
Yeah.
in my office, at home it may not always be possible, that whenever we photocopy these documents for KYC, it's done in the office itself.
Okay, so you can take
These
a
papers
print.
don't, yeah.
You can
Print
take a
or you
print.
have scanners and machines are
Scanners,
there
yeah.
where you can take because one or two photocopies are easy to take, but bulk you have to send down.
Yeah.
And these documents being confidential, we do it, nor do we take from the client and send it down for photocopying. We do
it in
everything
your
here.
office. Thank you for that information. Now coming to the cyberbullying, the cyberbullying is increasing day by day. According to the survey, it is said that 7 in 10 young people experience cyberbullying before they hit the age of 18. So how do you tackle such situations?
Unfortunate, but that's more of a self-restraint issue as to how much information you're putting on social media.
Okay,
Ultimately, this gets circulated from social media itself,
right.
whether it be Facebook or Instagram, and there are ways of controlling it, of course, who's going to have an access to your data, who's going to access to your profile, This also leads to other complicated issues or multiple avenues opening up for crime against you and
Right.
your family. So one has to be very, very careful on that. Passwords are, of course, one part of it. But second part is, what are you sharing on the social media? Today, I think people are more happy sharing their happiness or their
Yes.
holidays on social media than on anything else.
Yeah.
They will not inform a family member that I went on a holiday here or I enjoyed like this. But social media, everybody knows with all the pictures and locations and whatnot. So one has to be really controlling that. It's very important that as soon as the children are there on the social media, we must alert them, educate them, and tell them what has to be put, what has not to be put. Long time back, you must have heard of people putting on social media, oh, lovely, we're going for a holiday with family for 10 days to so-and-so place abroad. So there were people who got into it, found it, actually burgled the house.
Yes. It
Because
has
they know
happened.
that you're gone for 15 days.
Correct.
And nobody's going to be around. And
You're
today's,
actually giving an open invitation.
yes, and days are different. Today neighbors don't know each other.
Yeah,
So nobody knows who's coming to your house for and enjoyed the house for 10 days, taken
Yeah.
whatever they could in those 10 days. So these kind of things have to be avoided. It has to be, you have to restrain your sharing of your personal information on these things. That is the most important way, and that's, I think one can control all this. Your photographs also, what kind of photographs are being shared, your personal photographs you should avoid sharing.
Phone numbers.
Phone numbers you should avoid sharing.
Okay.
Especially, so many times you will find people putting their phone numbers on Facebook. So
yes.
one would A would request B, please call me on this number, because they don't have each other's number. Without doing a direct messaging, they do that and then they end up into trouble.
Thank you so much, Ishwar.
My
We
pleasure.
will come back to you. You can put questions if you have down. So on the YouTube. So you do put questions. If you have questions, we will get back to Ishwar. Coming back to in 2020, the United States registered the highest number of cosmetic procedures worldwide, with nearly 4 million related operations. The number of surgical cases and non-surgical cosmetic procedures have grown over the last decade from around 1.6 millions in 1997 to over 5.5 millions in 2020. Is it necessary to do this to put yourself under the knife is a question that we have. I just heard Twinkle Khanna today. She was just saying that Botox unfortunately does not make you look younger. It just makes you look like you are a part of an alien invasion desperately trying to fit in with the humans. So this actually also feels right. So we have Dr. Raj Parikh here. Dr. Raj Parikh is an alumni associate of our PG Garodia English High School 1990 batch. He is a successful dermatologist from Ghatkopar. He is the owner of the clinic Skinodent, the skin and dental clinic in Ghatkopar East, where he and his wife works as dermatologist and dentist respectively, where he does all kinds of skin and cosmetic treatments. He has worked extensively with cosmetic brands like L'Oreal and Neutrogena for 17 years in total. He was instrumental in launching brands like Vichy, La Roche-Posay and Avena Baby in India. He was the Medico marketing consultant, consumer understanding and insights and product positioning are his strengths. Along with being the managing committee member of Maharashtra chapter IADVL, he is a member of the American Academy of Dermatology and European Academy of Dermatology. So this is, a very, right now, the way every woman wants to look good is a mandate. They are ready to do everything and anything. Injections, going under the knife, treatment with the hair. So we start with hair, Dr. Raj. Is hair loss a concern, and what do you attribute the causes to be?
Firstly, I would thank the PG Garodia Alumni Association to welcome me for this particular session.
Very glad to have you.
Yeah, and I am a proud. I'm proud to say that I am a Garodian. So all are we here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you rightly said, beauty is a concern now these days. Sometimes it becomes, as a dermatologist, sometimes it makes me a little sad that people want to be beautiful, but they don't want their skin to be healthy. I would want to put health as a first concern, then beautiful. Why is that so? Skin is the largest organ of the body. Secondly, skin is the mirror, okay, of your internal health, whether it's physical or psychological.
Right.
The moment you are psychologically depressed, it is seen on the skin.
Okay.
The moment there is some kind of a some kind of pathological illness, and it has been seen on the skin. So why can't we take our health as a priority? If your health is good, be it psychological or be it physical, your skin is always going to be healthy.
Okay.
Beauty is the backdrop of it. So let's not talk about the beauty. That is my personal, what do you say, a personal belief. I would want people to also get believed in it. Now coming down to your question about hair loss. Yes, hair loss is very much disturbing these days, not only to the women and the men both, but even to the doctors. Now typically hair loss in men, what we see is androgenetic alopecia, that's the balding. In women we see something called as diffuse hair loss.
Okay.
And this diffuse hair loss can be because of some stresses, some nutritional deficiencies. Anemia and hypothyroidism are very commonly seen with Indian women. Typically, in the last 2 years, when we have fought COVID, the COVID-related hair losses was a big-time challenge to all dermatologists. In all our WhatsApp group that we have been communicating with each other, the dermatologists.
What is the reason for that? The COVID.
So the problem was COVID came as a bit unnatural virus.
Right.
The body did not know how to fight that particular virus. So it threw a lot of cytokines.
Okay.
Right. Somewhere down the line, the hair follicles would just shut down.
Okay.
When they don't know what to do, they just shut down.
Okay.
So they stop growing. They stop growing.
My God.
So that is the anagen phase, which is the growing phase.
Okay.
There is the resting phase and there is the shedding phase. The moment they go into a resting phase, they can't go back into an into a growing phase again.
Oh my God.
They have to go back. They have to go into the telogen phase, which is the shedding phase,
Okay.
and then they have to go back into the
So
anagen
it is a
phase.
cycle which has
Yeah.
to
So the
complete.
moment it shuts down, it goes into a sleeping stage, which is the catagen stage. It has to fall off, which is the telogen phase, and this telogen phase is where you see people coming out with. So I've got patients who come with the tiffin box, and the tiffin box is filled up with hair, and they say this is one day's hair.
My God.
COVID was so
bad,
bad,
yes.
right? So similarly, like COVID, you see typhoid, post-pregnancy hair loss. So any kind of physical stresses of the body, okay, these hair follicles shut down, and you have this kind of hair loss. Now we see at the age of 35, we see a lot of women getting hormonal hair loss.
Yes.
Typically, the partition line,
Yeah.
they just
Broadens.
widen up,
Yeah, widening.
and they feel that the scalp is seen. Typically,
Yes.
when they take selfies or the photographs and everything, and they feel that no, I've been
Yeah.
losing hair. So these are hormonal hair losses also. So stress, hormones, nutrition, everything plays a lot of role now. The kind of lifestyle that we are living in is imperative in the cause of the hair loss. So yeah, this is one of the biggest concerns which we all dermatologists face today as far as hair loss is concerned.
My God. This is very scary. Is dandruff also a major cause of hair loss?
So dandruff is typically nothing else but the inflammation of the hair follicles caused by a yeast which is called as Malassezia. Now these when these follicles when they get infected with the sebaceous glands around, they start proliferating more, and this has been seen as flakes.
Okay.
On a dry scalp, it is seen as dry flakes, which we call as dry dandruff. And on an oily scalp, these are seen as oily flakes, okay, which we call as a greasy dandruff.
Okay.
So there are two kinds of dandruff, greasy dandruff and dry dandruff. Now, why we should be bothering about dandruff? Dandruff, so this Malassezia, sometimes in certain individuals who are predisposed to something called as an androgenetic alopecia, which is the balding pattern of alopecia the
Yes.
men gets, they become the precursor. So it's a
Okay.
predisposing factor. So if a person is supposed to get androgenetic alopecia at about say 35 years of age, and at the age of 28 he gets dandruff, the process of the androgenetic alopecia starts at the age of 28, 29 because of the
Okay.
dandruff part. So it's very necessary to treat dandruff. You should not
Alright.
take it lightly. You don't know that you are going to be one of the victims of the androgenetic alopecia,
Right.
because that is hereditary, that is familial.
Right.
But you don't know when you're going to get it. But you may get it earlier if you don't treat your
So
dandruff
this
first.
is genetic also.
Dandruff is not genetic.
But hair loss
The
is-
androgenetic alopecia is genetic.
Okay.
The androgenetic alopecia is linked to, so for men it is linked to the X chromosome. So it comes usually from the maternal side.
Okay.
So if
from
the
mother
maternal side, if there is a lot of balding, you can,
My God.
you can expect your son to have balding, maybe to have balding in the
The men
future.
are saved in this, huh?
But ultimately the men
Yeah, but
get
yet,
balding, right?
But yet,
We usually see it as a paternal side, not the maternal side.
Yeah,
So
but
it's-
this is
it
an
always
X-linked.
blamed-
It's a great
it is always
revelation.
blamed on the
Paternal side.
paternal side. Too bad to
good
know this. Okay, so what do you really think? Coming to the next question,
Sure.
are the roles of these shampoos, conditioners, hair oils, because they are marketed as if you use them, the hair loss will decrease, or you will have beautiful hair. So,
Okay.
also one more question
Yeah,
in
sure,
this, adding one more question. Also help us with a hair regime, that what is supposed to be a hair regime.
A good hair regime.
Yeah.
Okay. So, so I'll tell you, Ritu, the thing is, we all need cleansing in some or the other way.
Yes.
Be it body, be it hair.
Yes.
We need cleansing. So, shampoo was designed. Earlier, people used to use soaps.
Okay.
Detergents, ultimately, they all are detergents. Then came the era of shikakai.
Right.
Again, the
Yeah.
soap and the powder. Aretha, everything. People moved from
Yeah.
that particular thing. People wanted something which is a little fancier. So shampoo came into the picture.
Right.
And believe me, now Just about a week back, I was sitting with a manufacturer and I found out that the trend is going on something called as a shampoo bar. A shampoo bar.
Okay.
You don't need to carry, so there is no bottle, because the concern of not using a plastic has been more now.
Right,
so
right.
now start using a shampoo bar. So it's a soap bar,
again,
but given the formula of a shampoo. So this is the trend which has been changing. So the trend, so these are according to the needs.
Right.
The format changes according to the needs. But the reason is the same. It's cleansing.
Yeah.
Right. So cleansing is necessary. We do understand that the cleansing is necessary. You want to do it daily. You want to do it once in a week. Your choice. That's not an issue. But you need to understand what kind of cleansing are you recommending, and to whom and why. So first and the foremost thing is shampoo. Daily shampoo. You need to go for a milder shampoo because it's a daily shampoo.
Right.
Okay. People would say that since you have done a straightening, you need to use a shampoo which is causing. Nothing like that. You need to use, your shampoo should not dry up your hair. The concern should be drying up your hair.
Okay.
It's the same concept as using a soap which can dry up your skin.
Okay.
So you use a soap which has a moisturizer, or after the bath you apply a moisturizer.
Right.
So now with this particular concept, that's the thing of conditioner came in. So after the shampoo, people started thinking that my hair is becoming dry. So the conditioner got invented, and then the conditioner started. Right. So which is the conditioner to use? So heavier the conditioner, so drier the hair, heavier the conditioner.
Right.
Frizzier the hair, more the conditioner use. But why does your hair become frizzy? That's the first thing. Because of the bad shampoo that you're using, or frequency of the shampoo. People use hair oil. One of the best conditioners ever, I would say. Hair oil is the best conditioner ever. But people want to use an hair oil before the shampoo.
Yeah.
Very good. That's very nice. But they don't want any amount of hair oil to be seen on the hair.
Absolutely.
So they would shampoo it double, twice.
Twice, thrice.
Which means what? You are making your hair more frizzier.
My God.
So which calls in for a better conditioner.
Okay.
So what did your oil do? Waste. What did your shampoo do? Waste. And you are spending more money on a expensive conditioner. So this is the vicious cycle people get into it. People need to understand that you need some amount of oil on your hair, because longer the hair, distant from your scalp, it doesn't get any kind of a oil secretion from your scalp.
Okay.
And the damage is more on the end parts. So you need to apply something which avoids that frizziness, so avoid that friction, to avoid the static electricity. All these kind of parameters have to be seen, and then you have to. So washing is necessary, but be careful. What kind of shampoos, what kind of, so, and now coming down to the regimen part that you are talking about, I would prefer oiling as a must.
Okay. How
don't
often?
Don't use, you can use oil every day if you're shampooing every day. I have no problem with that. But managing shampooing long hair is difficult. So maybe you can do it 2 times in a week also, that's not an issue. Shampooing before your bath or before your shampoo, oiling before your shampoo is fine, it's very good. But then don't double the use.
Let the oil.
Let a little bit of oil remain, that's not an issue at all, because that will give you that kind of.
But how much
fall.
should one keep the oil? Because there are different facts coming out. They come out as facts that there are even different heavy names taken, heavy technical terms taken, and there are facts coming. 3 hours, you keep this oil for 3 hours, you keep this oil for half an hour, and there is some technical heavy name that component is there in that oil.
So we don't need any kind of components on the oil. Okay. We need oil. Now you can't use castor oil because it's very greasier.
Right.
You are not yourself comfortable.
Yeah.
So use a oil which you are comfortable with.
Okay.
I'm okay to suggest any oil which you are comfortable with. I would not recommend an oil to any of my patients also.
Okay.
So use an oil which you are comfortable with. Duration, you are comfortable to keep it overnight, do it. If your pillow doesn't stain, you don't want to stain your pillow, use it 1 hour before. I am still okay with it.
Okay.
Manage it according to what your wish is. There is no thumb rule that this many hours is going to work better than X amount of hours. No, it's nothing like that.
All right.
Oiling is good conditioner, as I said. It is necessary to oil. Now, where to oil? Not on the scalp. Because as I said, your scalp is oily. Your sebaceous glands of your scalp is secreting oil. 1 inch of your hair will already have oil. What you need is the oil
My
or
God,
the conditioning.
we take cotton, we dip it in the oil, and we actually put it on the scalp.
Yeah. So, so the concept. So when I interview my patients also at length to understand, I have understood one thing. The reason that they want to oil their hair is because there is some amount of massage which has been happening, right?
Absolutely.
So it is the fun of the massage.
So there is nothing
That is
happening.
the whole concept. It's the fun of the massage.
So what is the right way to oil?
Oil your hair, not your scalp.
My God. We're doing
That is
it the
important.
wrong
On the top.
way.
On the top, you mean? Not
Yeah,
towards
so you do not have to oil it on your scalp. You
So
have
I
to oil
think
on your
all
hair.
the viewers need to be very thankful to PGGS Alumni Association to bring both of them. And you know, this is something which I think nobody is aware of. Majorly, nobody is aware of.
So my patients are aware
Your
who comes
patients
to me,
are,
so they know about it. When we
See,
when we
Raj,
talk about it, is
Dr. Raj,
necessary.
even I am your patient, but we never spoke about this. So there are a lot of people not aware. So, my God, this
You're
is
actually right. Taking that cotton and rubbing it in,
that
that's
is
what
what we
happens.
do. That is what we do.
So
It's
hair
more of
oil
a-
is one thing. Shampoo, yes, as I said, if you are a daily shampoo, you can use a shampoo.
Right.
If you have a dandruff, you use an anti-dandruff shampoo once in a week or twice in a week, as per recommendation, whatever it is. And yeah, if you want to use a conditioner, if you feel that your hair is dry, use a conditioner. Don't get into fancy conditioners, because conditioners keep on changing their names.
Right.
People want to have something new. People want something new, so they come out with something new. So don't get into that particular fancy. Stick down to one conditioner, what you are happy with. Okay, just
Right.
because you have seen an ad, don't get fancy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the whole issue.
I'll go to the skin part now, because skin is, you know, the largest organ of our
mirror.
body. Yes, our mirror. So how do we first, most important, how do we identify this kind of skin that we have? Because you pick up any moisturizer, any cream, it is written for normal skin, for oily skin, for you know, what different kinds of things are coming up in the market now. So how do we identify what skin type we have?
Okay. So Ritu, typically there are three kinds of skins: dry skin, oily skin, and combination skin. When we
Yes.
talk about combination skin, is the T-zone, which has
T-zone,
been a
yes.
little oily. And where do you find this kind of T-zone? Where do you find this kind of combination skin? Usually humid climatic zones. So around the coastal belt, you have people having this kind of skin much more commoner.
Okay, so it is
Delhi, all you will have either an oily skin or maybe a dry skin. So more of a drier skin type. So, but I would rather add on, according to me, I would add on one more kind of a skin, which is called as dehydrated skin.
Oh.
So what is this dehydrated skin? Dehydrated skin, typically I have found out, when over a period of so many years of my clinical practice, I found out is people who work continuously in an air conditioner atmosphere, the moisture is sucked up.
Oh, is it?
The moisture is sucked up. They feel a little tighter.
Yeah. When you smile.
Yeah, when you smile specifically, they feel a little tighter. That's not the loss of lipids. Loss of lipids is dry skin.
What is lipids?
Lipids are the cementing substances. So there are blocks of cells.
Yeah, we see the picture of skin.
Yeah, and to have a proper barrier, there is this cementing substance.
Okay.
The cementing substance, one of the key ingredients is lipids.
Okay.
So when you say lack of lipids or lack of ceramides, they actually make your skin dry.
Okay.
Usually children who are born with deficiency of lipids or ceramides, the skin is really dry.
Okay.
They are going to be dry forever.
Right.
For them, you need a greasy moisturizer, okay, which is like replenishing lipids. But for people who are in the AC atmosphere, you don't need them. You need something which is replacing moisture,
Okay.
right? So you need water,
Okay.
not splashing water, but something which can avoid the water loss.
So there are
So you need something which is very light in consistency.
water-based things which
Yeah, which can be a humectant on your face. Apply something which can retain the moisture level and make it supple.
all right.
So this is another kind of a skin which is called the dehydrated skin.
So it is better to go to the doctor.
So you
come
can
to
identify yourself
identify
also.
yourself,
You can
okay.
identify yourself also with all these parameters, and it is easy.
Is acne a growing problem? And currently we come across a lot of people with white patches.
Okay.
Vitiligo.
So there are these two different things.
questions. Yeah.
So we'll talk about acne first.
Acne first, yeah.
So acne, typically, if you see, it's a teen problem,
Yes.
right? So mothers, when they had acne, they did not do anything. So typically, when I have teenagers coming to me with their parents, the parents tell me that, you know, this is the teenage problem.
Right.
ये तो आएगा, ये तो चला जाएगा.
Yes.
Why to treat it?
Yeah.
They don't understand that you need the treatment not for the acne to go off, because acne will never go off. 1 or 2 pimples will always come in.
Yeah.
But the reason to treat is you should not land up having scars. Because
Correct.
you cannot treat scars then. You have to go under the knife then.
Yeah, that's the reason why we see people with.
Yeah, with so many pores.
Scars,
And they
pores,
called it
yeah.
open pores, but they are actually scars.
Oh.
That is the reason that you need to treat acne. Of lately, we have seen so many young girls who have hormonal acne. Usually hormonal acne we see at the age of 35.
Right.
That is a second bout of acne that they get. So at the age of 35, people get acne typically on the jawline.
Right.
This is how we identify a jawline acne is hormonal acne. With
Okay.
some amount of hair growing over here,
Yeah.
okay, with hair loss. So they fall into something, some category called as PCOS.
Yes,
a term
yes.
which has been fancied
Yes,
now. Everyone
PCOD,
fancies
PCOS,
the.
yes.
These days, girls and ladies, they just come to us and say that, Doctor, I have PCOS.
Yeah, and they're proud of it also.
Yeah,
sorry.
somewhere they are,
Sorry to
somewhere
say
they-
that, but yes.
Yeah, but why all these things are growing? We need to understand. We need to get into it and then understand that, okay, it may not be a grave problem, but you need to change your lifestyle. You need to understand why these hormones are going for a toss.
Right.
And it can be managed. That's not an issue. So yeah, acne is a concern. Acne was always the #1 reason to consult a dermatologist.
Right.
If you look at
True.
the ORG status,
Yeah.
10 years back and
Always,
now also,
always.
acne is still the #1.
But then it should be.
But at the same time, there is an awareness also which has been there that 1 or 2 pimples, doctor, I don't want 1 or 2
Yes.
pimples also. So the awareness of treating acne has also gone up.
Yeah.
So hence, #1 reason is an acne, for sure. Now coming down to your question of vitiligo, white patches. So white patches, typically we call it as leukoderma. But within leukoderma, something which just comes up on its own without any specific reason,
Okay.
we call it as vitiligo.
Okay.
Right? So vitiligo, yeah, it's an autoimmune disease. It's high on the list now. We see many
Yeah,
children.
very, so many.
So somewhere down the line where chemical factories are been there, we see a lot of patients from there coming to us.
Okay. So
Yeah.
due to the pollution.
Somewhere there is some kind of mutations in your skin which has been
My
happening
God.
because of these chemicals. Unaware, there has to be a lot of studies which has to be done on this. There is R&D which people need to do this. That what are these chemicals which can cause leukoderma? But yeah, they are on the rise.
Okay.
And we have seen during the treatment of vitiligo also, if there are unwanted stresses, the vitiligo does not improve. There is a lot
Okay.
of resistance in the treatment.
So even the mental health is supposed
Mental
to be
health is
stable.
supposed to be.
My
yeah,
God.
Yeah, it works on that.
Can you also throw some light on skin aging? Because
Okay.
nobody wants to look old now, Dr. Raj. Am I right, Ishwar?
I don't mind. For lawyers, it is better.
Yeah, but
Grey hair and
women I'm
looking
talking about. No, women wants to look old. They might be 60, but they want to look 40. So what? Any magic?
It's an irony, and so when I started my clinic in the year 2000, people didn't want to come to me because I never had a single strand of white hair.
Okay.
That's what. Typically lawyers also.
Yeah. So aging is respected in certain angles, but aging is not respected for self,
Right.
which is very surprising for me.
Yeah.
Aging has to be graceful. That is what I call.
Exactly.
You need to age, but you need to be graceful to age. What is that one ingredient which is supposed to be making you a graceful aging for skin is concerned? I would put it up as moisturizer, and moisturizer. If you ask me 3 ingredients, I would still say moisturizer, and moisturizer. This is one element which actually gives you a very good skin. If you start using it from right in the beginning of your childhood, it gives you a very good skin for the rest of your life.
Is it?
Moisturizing is the key element. If you want to ask me that what is one particular thing, what you want to give it to your viewers, I would want to still put it up as moisturizer. This is one
India,
thing.
listen to this, moisturizer.
It's important. Moisturizer is important. So yeah, so and anti-aging, moisturizing is the most important element. But at the same time, accept that we are not going to reverse it. We are going to make it better.
Which is so difficult.
Yeah, aging is a biological clock, right? You need to age. Somewhere down the line, we need to show that we are aged out of our experiences, right? So but you need to be graceful in your aging. So everything goes hand in hand. You have to act according to your age, which makes you graceful. You have to wear according to your age, which makes you graceful. So age gracefully. That is the most important element that I
So it is not possible to not.
You can't. So there are these fillers and botoxes which
I already said makes you look like an alien.
Yeah, so botulism toxin and fillers, they are being done. Not that I don't do it. I do it myself also. But people, when they need it desperately for some kind of an occasion where they want to look good and all, we do it. But we also warn them that it's a habit. Then you will never be able to, because the moment you see them, you see yourself without that particular wrinkle or something like that, you feel good.
Yeah,
definitely you would feel
Obviously.
good. The acceptance level is lesser. Yeah, so you have to take a call. It's your choice ultimately.
Thank you for that. For a layman, if anybody has a skin issue, whom should they consult? This is a big confusion right now. Dermatologist or a cosmetologist?
Okay, so this is a big time thing. So the society which I belong to, which is the Indian Association of Dermatology, Venereology and Leprology, we are doing all possible work to make sure that we can curb all illegal people doing dermatology practice.
Is it? That's good.
Somewhere. But there are so many hurdles to it. If people understand, and I would want to throw a light over here, the Medical Council of India does not give a degree of cosmetologist. It gives you a degree only of dermatologist. There is no degree as trichologist also, which is for the hair care. No, it has been derived by some organization. They give you a degree of trichology and you become a trichologist. It's not there. It's not recognized by the government. We have studied for 3 years after our MBBS, which is 5.5-year course. We have given our blood and sweat for 3 years into dermatology to understand the skin, the basics of the skin. Skin is not superficial. It's a vast ocean. We need to understand that.
It's the largest organ.
Getting into a thing called as a cosmetology by doing a 6-month cosmetology course or something like that, by doing facials, you are nothing but a beauty parlor.
Exactly.
You can call yourself a cosmetic dermatologist if you fancy doing lasers and all as a dermatologist. You can call yourself a cosmetic dermatologist. But a cosmetologist per se is non-existing degree. So I would not rate people should be aware that if you have a skin problem, the person who can treat you is a dermatologist or a cosmetic dermatologist, but not
the
cosmetologist.
Or the hair thing you said was?
A trichologist.
So everybody, please make a note of this because we really get confused.
It's always
you agree to
absolutely,
that, right,
absolutely.
Ishwar? That what is this?
So in other words, you would say that if a cosmetologist is practicing like a dermatologist, he's actually a quack.
Quack.
Oh, that's a quack is the right word then.
Yeah, my God. Because we really fall bait to this, we really fall. It's a cheaper treatment. The peels and everything that they talk about. Maybe if you are charging something, they're charging a little less, and
on the contrary, you will be surprised that they charge much more. I have got salon people coming and telling me that you are charging very less for your chemical peels and they charge double.
Charge the same way, Dr. Raj, sorry. Yeah, please. What is skin laser treatment?
So skin lasers is a vast thing.
The hair removal.
Yeah, so typically the biggest thing that in the skin laser that we do is laser hair reduction.
Right.
Now here also I would want to give in a word to all the viewers is there is nothing called as a laser hair removal. You cannot permanently remove. If anyone tells you,
it is marketed.
Yeah, but if anyone tells you कि ये permanently बाल निकल जाएगा, वापस नहीं आएगा, so it's wrong. It's laser hair reduction. Laser hair reduction. Please keep this in your mind. Reduction is reducing the follicle size, which means the follicle are still present, which means the follicles can grow back to its original state whenever it wants to. Maybe 2 years, maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years down the line, but it will grow. If they are subjected to hormonal changes, it will grow faster. Right? So it is very necessary for people to understand that it is called as laser hair reduction. Why you want to do a laser hair reduction, that is your choice also to consider. If your frequency of going for a plucking or something is very high, you would want to go in for a laser hair reduction, something like that. Unwanted hair removal, that is the main reason for a laser hair reduction. So people should not understand this thing.
Is it damaging the skin?
Personally, no, it is not damaging the skin at all. People at the age of 17 or 18 also comes to us and we say a yes, because that is the time when the hormones are almost done with them, okay, and we start doing it. Now these days even men come to us saying that they don't want the chest hair because they go to the gym, things to be shown.
Hospital, so, as I said, everybody wants to
look good. Look good in front of in front of your mobile cameras, because Insta stories and everything is to be seen.
As he mentioned earlier.
Yes. So yes, that is the way it is. So laser hair reduction is the biggest procedures. Another thing that we fancy these days is tattoo removal lasers.
Yes.
Because people in their youth or in that emotions, they write a name of someone and something goes wrong in their life and they want to remove that name.
Yes.
So I tell people, if they ask me that can I do a tattoo, I tell them you should do a tattoo. That's no problem in doing a tattoo, but at the same time you need to understand that you can never ever write a name, because you don't know the future.
Right.
So use some kind of a symbol which symbolizes you as a person.
Right.
It's a personality trait. And if you're very young, you should not do a tattoo, because there is a time to understand yourself also.
Exactly.
So understand yourself first and then maybe put a tattoo. But again, this is the individual thing.
Thank you so much, Dr. Raj.
Pleasure.
This was really, really helpful. I'm sure about it. I would, do we have questions? So, okay, we have questions. Are sulfur-free, the question is for Dr. Raj, are sulfur-free shampoos good or useful?
Yeah, so they are sulfate-free. Sulfate-free. So of lately, the sulfate has been criticized as the bad ingredient. But people should understand that it is not the sulfate, it is the concentration of the sulfate. So beyond a particular concentration, maybe if it is 1% sulfate use or something like that, it is going to be harmful. But 0.05% of sulfate is not harmful at all. So don't go for a tagline of sulfate free. It doesn't give you that kind of an understanding. All shampoos are okay because they use very minimal amount of sulfate.
So mild shampoos,
mild shampoos is fine. That's not an issue. And if you want to go for a sulfate free shampoo, it's fine. But please understand that the sulfate free shampoos will not give you that kind of lather. Will not give you that kind of foaming.
Right.
So the pleasure of using a shampoo is not there.
So that is the reason why there is less foam.
Less foam in sulfate free shampoos.
Okay. There is one more question by Sneha. How to control white hair, grey hair?
Okay, so it is called as premature graying or premature kernitis. Now, premature graying, if you have a family history of graying, premature graying, you're not going to prevent it. You're going to get it. So that is there's nothing that you can do. But if you don't have a family history and from a very young age, make sure that you oil your hair regularly. Don't use too much of shampoos. Okay, no conditioners at all. Okay, because conditioners are leave-on. Shampoos are a rinse-off. So leave-on, I would avoid leave-on. When you're using a hair oil, also please do not use a perfumed hair oil, because these fragrances are allergic too. So you should not use any kind of fragrance in the hair oil. Use a very basic hair oil which does not have any kind of fragrance. And make sure that your vitamin levels are okay. Vitamin B12 is fine, and your hemoglobin is absolutely wonderful.
Okay.
And still, if you have them, I'm very sorry, but you can try with the Baba Ramdev therapy if you want to do that, because I am unaware of any other treatments for premature conitis.
We have one more question, which is, what are these treatments, protein treatment of hair and everything?
Okay.
Does it really?
So, yeah. So, see, protein, our hair is made up of a protein which is called as keratin. So, a fancy word to be used in a product saying that it is your keratin which is going to be put it into, it's the keratin
Right.
thing. So, there are these proteins which are amino acids, okay, which are not natural amino acids, but they are artificially derived amino acids, which you actually coat your hair. So, as I told you earlier also in our talk, that it is the hair which is at the length which becomes frizzy, which becomes damaged, okay, many factors to it. So, to control that frizz, you need this kind of sealers. So, these proteins are nothing but sealers. Okay. But getting a protein on it, so which is not going to really make a lot of understanding. So there is nowadays, if you open up a YouTube and you understand that there is this urad dal also which they crush, apply honey, milk and all, and they make a paste out of it and they apply on the hair. What is urad dal? It is protein. Ultimately, it's
but
a protein.
Doesn't help, right?
If it was so very easy, it would have been wonderful for everyone, right? Eat protein, it is necessary.
So you have to feed, I mean, put it in your
protein
diet.
Because see, there is a disease in children called as kwashiorkor and marasmus, which is protein depletion. You look at those children and you would see hair so brittle. What are these indicators of? Eat protein rather than...
So you have to consume protein and not...
And protect your hair, as I told you earlier, then you would not get into these kind of protein treatments. And all these protein treatments come with a cost. Why? Because they are used with some solvents. So formaldehyde is one of the solvents. I don't know which are the ingredients or which are the other chemicals and which are the companies who use formaldehyde still. But formaldehyde is supposed to be carcinogenic also. Too much of use of it. One time use cannot cause anything, but too much of use can lead to mutations.
Right.
You have to be wary about it. You have to be understanding. All these are chemicals ultimately.
Right. So thank you so much, Ishwar and Dr. Raj, for the enlightening talk. Do we have any more questions? There are? Wait, I will. 2 questions were sent. Done with the questions, right? So we will wait for the questions to come.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah. So it was really, really interesting understanding the cyber side, which is so dangerous, and everybody is falling a bait to that. Everyone, the senior citizens, and as you said, everybody is in a rush, so everybody wants the quick thing to happen, and that's really, really alarming. So please beware, and as Dr. Raj said, that age gracefully. Stop thinking that you want to look young. Healthy mind is going to give you a healthy skin. Healthy diet is going to give you healthy skin, healthy hair, and being vigilant is going to keep you safe.
But I gained so much from you today.
No, same here. It's vice versa.
I know,
all of us gained so much.
We hope that you all liked the topics. We will definitely come back the next year. It's come.
Now I know why Dadima used to catch and say put oil there.
So the next question for you, Dr. Raj, is any home remedies for skin pigmentations?
Home remedies for skin pigmentation. Okay, so honey with a little bit of turmeric and some amount of dahi can work on a regular basis. So there is a reason for all these things, because dahi is lactic acid. Now, when you need a little bit of exfoliant, okay, you need to remove the cells.
Right.
That decreases your melanin load. Second, lactic acid is itself a little bit of moisturizer. It has a little bit of moisturizing property. So it will give you that suppleness. Honey again is a moisturizer, which will give you a little bit of suppleness more. And turmeric, because of its yellowness, it gives you a little bit of tint of yellowness, which gives you a little glow. That's why that's the whole concept of haldi ceremony before the wedding.
Wow.
So I mean, if you go back and see the whole culture of ours, all things are actually related. But we have never understood this. We have just enjoyed the ceremony, not understanding what is the reason behind it. But that is the whole thing.
Everybody, thoda sa lagana is what is.
Yeah.
No, because the facial is already done on a day earlier, so you know what.
Expensive
You don't want to
facial.
spoil that, yeah.
Expensive facials.
Expensive facials, be it a dermatologist done or maybe outside done.
Okay, so thank you. I think there are more questions. Wow. I hope we have time. This is again for you, Dr. Raj. Should babies be given bath with besan, malai and milk?
No,
the way grandmothers did it.
I completely say a no with besan. Okay, malai milk is absolutely okay, but besan, no. The incidence of atopic dermatitis is really on the high. Applying besan means you are actually drying up your skin and you are increasing the further chances of developing severe atopic dermatitis.
My God.
So besan is completely no. People want to use besan because they want to remove the hair of the baby.
Yeah.
Right? That is the whole
Masoor
concept
dal
of using.
and whatnot.
The atopic dermatitis is on the rise.
And actually the babies cry because
it's friction.
Yeah.
Ultimately it's friction.
Yeah.
So no for the besan, but yes for the malai. But malai is very expensive, but if they can afford it, why not?
Yeah. One more question is laser treatment safe for hair reduction, which you I think already answered.
Very safe.
One more question. What is the contribution of serum to hair?
So serum, so all serums, they contain an ingredient called as dimethicone or maybe silicones. I would rather put it up as silicones.
So, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this is what the industry is doing, using such heavy technical words. So, the consumer is running towards everything which is coming in the market.
But serums are nothing else but silicones. Now, what does a silicone do? It just gives you a coat which appears silky.
Right.
It's a temporary remedy that you are
luster in the hair.
Yeah, it gives you a little bit of shine, it gives you a bit of luster. The use of silicone in the hair started, and now there is a lot of use of silicones in skincare products because it gives you that kind of shimmer, it gives you that kind of shine. But silicone at the same time on the hair, it's not a problem. On the scalp, when you apply silicone, it's going to occlude your skin. So it doesn't give you that perspiration. The skin does not perspire.
Okay.
So on the hair, it's fine. You can use
but
your
not
serums,
on the scalp.
Not on the scalp.
So on the hair it is fine, as he said, not on the scalp. Yeah. Okay, we have one more question. Is beer a good conditioner?
Is beer a good conditioner? Oh my God.
Leftover beer.
Why do you want to waste an alcohol on your scalp? Why do you want to waste an alcohol on the scalp?
There are two questions.
Might as well use it. Might as well drink it.
Leftover, that's right.
There are two questions. Since beer shampoos were hyped.
Yeah, so beer shampoos were hyped, but suddenly they are silent now again.
Yeah.
If beer was a good conditioner, they would have made millions and people would have used it and people would have used it and people would have used it.
Yes.
But it's nothing like that. It's like egg yolk being a good conditioner. It is a yolk, it is oil, ultimately it's cholesterol, right? So it's definitely going to be good.
But this is something we've heard since ages, that beer is very good for hair.
Yeah, so,
beer is
so it's a cleanser ultimately. So
right.
Yeah.
But there is no need, right? As you said.
No, but during lockdown it was an offense to use beer for washing hair.
Absolutely. So I think we are done with the questions. Yeah, we are done with the questions.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so thank you Ishwar and Dr. Raj for the enlightening talk. I'm sure most of us have benefited a lot from it, besides being made aware of the online dangers and the way we take care of our skin and our hair. We would also like to thank Mahesh sir, Nishant sir, Mrs. Mitali Rudra, principal of PG Garodia School, and Mr. Ian Davis, Principal of GICLM School, and the team of GICLM, and special thanks to Nishant sir for giving us this place in GICLM. We would also like to thank the technical team here, who are here, right here, helping us, and all the members of, committee members of the PGGS Alumni Association. Their cooperation is always very important. So we will come with the third episode on the next Women's Day, 2023. Till then, see you. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.